The federal government has unveiled the first round of its $707 million Remote Jobs and Economic Development program, aimed at generating over 650 jobs across remote Australia. Meanwhile, Youth Week celebrations in Meanjin showcase the talent of emerging Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander artists, while Senator Jacinta Price stirred controversy during a Perth campaign stop. More on that later. Kaya, this is the National Indigenous Times Daily News Bulletin for Monday the 14th of April. The federal government has announced the results of its first round of its $707 million Remote Jobs and Economic Development program, which is set to create more than 650 jobs across remote Australia through nearly 100 employers. The program replaces the former Community Development Program and aims to deliver meaningful, well-paid jobs shaped by community priorities in partnership with First Nations people. While the initiative has been welcomed by many, some critics say the rollout has been too slow, particularly in regions like Halls Creek where unemployment remains high. The government says the program will ultimately support 3,000 jobs and is the result of extensive consultation with over 200 remote communities. It is designed to provide skills, on-the-job training, mentoring and support tailored to local needs. Minister for Indigenous Australians Malarndirri McCarthy said the program offers the dignity of work and is key to closing the gap in employment outcomes, while opposition spokesperson Senator Jacinta Price criticised the delay and called for more action on the ground. As part of the Youth Week celebrations, the First Nations Youth Week showcase lit up Queen Street Mall in Meanjin, with performances from emerging Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander artists. The event was a collaboration between Creative Nations, Visible Inc. Youth Hub, Old Law Records and Brisbane City Council, bringing together young musicians who had rehearsed at Old Law Studios in the lead-up. Highlights included Rowie's live performance of his debut single Full and sets by Ariana, Zane Hall and the family band Eagles. Curator Peter Thornley said the showcase was about nurturing the next generation, calling for ongoing development opportunities beyond one-off events. Senator Jacinta Price sparked controversy during a Perth campaign stop by declaring a desire to make Australia great again, echoing Donald Trump's slogan. While later downplaying the reference, she accused the media of being obsessed with the US president. At a press conference alongside opposition leader Peter Dutton, Price criticised government spending, calling for an order of Indigenous Affairs and vowing to reset the curriculum and cut funding for what she termed ridiculous grants. She also claims students are being ideologically indoctrinated. The remarks drew criticism from Labor, with Health Minister Mark Butler saying the coalition is importing US-style politics. In Cape York, 21-year-old Wiradjuri man Malachi Clements has transformed his backyard into a thriving orchard with over 70 varieties of fruit, vegetables, herbs and nuts to combat the high cost and limited access to fresh produce in remote communities. Concerned about the health impacts of poor nutrition, he aims to establish community-led orchards across the Cape, starting with Napa and Arm, and hopes to see agricultural skills reintroduced in schools. Clements believes empowering communities to grow their own food is key to addressing long-term health and food security challenges. The Tasmanian Aboriginal Legal Service has backed a recommendation from the custodial inspector to extend voting rights to all prisoners, highlighting the disproportionate impact current laws have on Aboriginal people. A new report tabled in State Parliament urges reform to minimise the disenfranchisement of Indigenous communities who are overrepresented in the prison system. CEO Jake Smith called the existing restrictions unjust, stressing that all Australians, including those in custody, deserve a say in decisions that affect their lives. Roster's prop Spencer Leniu may escape sanction for his heated sideline clash with rugby league legend Jonathan Thurston, despite doubling down on social media the next day. Leniu allegedly called Thurston a slur during Friday night's match and later accused him online of being fake. The NRL is not investigating unless a formal complaint is made, which hasn't occurred. The tension follows last year's racism controversy involving Leniu, with Thurston previously calling for harsher penalties. Thurston has since confirmed the remarks were not racial, but said he was shocked by Leniu's aggression. Carriageworks' Solid Ground initiative is celebrating 10 years of providing education and employment pathways in the arts for First Nations youth. Since 2015, over 1,000 students have participated in the program, receiving mentorship from prominent artists and creating new artworks. In 2025, Solid Ground will expand its career pathways to include arts, administration roles, and paid internships. The program has helped students connect with their cultural identities, gain confidence, and pursue careers in the creative sector. CarriageWorks is proud to support Solid Ground in creating lasting change for First Nations youth and the arts industry. The first ever over 50s Aboriginal men's cricket team has made its debut at an International Veterans Tri-Series in Mackay, playing against Australia and New Zealand sides. For many players, this moment marks the realisation of a lifelong dream and a powerful way to honour their culture, families, and love for the game. The team's formation is seen as a legacy project aiming to inspire younger generations, promote Aboriginal health, and celebrate cultural identity through sport. Longtime advocate Uncle Les Knox and co-manager Greg James highlighted the importance of visibility, cultural pride, and paving the way for future First Nations cricketers. That's today's daily news roundup from the National Indigenous Times. For more news, head to nit.com.au and sign up to our free newsletter today.